"You're coming with me," the lonely rancher said quietly, his voice steady, but filled with something deeper than anger, like promise. The woman flinched, instinctively pulling her 3 daughters closer, as if even kindness could turn into harm. Her lip was split, her arm bruised, and her eyes carried a lifetime of silence. Around them, the cold wind swept across the dusty roadside, carrying whispers of a life she had endured for far too long. Her name was Amina. She hadn't always looked like this. Once she had dreams, small ones, simple ones, of a warm home, laughter, and children who would grow up safe. But those dreams had been crushed one by one. Each time she gave birth to a daughter instead of the son her husband demanded. By the 3rd girl, his disappointment had turned into something darker, something cruel, and today it had gone too far. The rancher stood before her, tall and weathered, his coat thick with dust and years of solitude. His name was Daniel. He lived miles away on a quiet ranch in rural Canada, where the winters were harsh, but the land was honest. He had seen many things in his life: loss, isolation, regret, but nothing stirred his heart quite like the sight before him now. "I don't want trouble," Amina whispered, her voice trembling. "Please, we'll leave." Daniel shook his head slowly. "You're not the trouble," he said. "You're the ones who need a way out." Her daughters clung to her 3 little girls, no older than 10, with wide, frightened eyes. They hadn't cried, not anymore. They had learned too early that crying didn't change anything. Amina hesitated. Years of fear had trained her to distrust moments like this. But something in Daniel's voice felt different. It wasn't pity. It wasn't curiosity. It was respect. "I don't have anything," she said, almost apologetically. Daniel looked at the girls, then back at her. "You have them," he replied softly. "That's everything." That was the moment something inside her broke, not from pain, but from relief. Tears streamed down her face as she nodded, unable to speak. The drive to the ranch was long and quiet. The girls sat in the back seat, unsure but safe. For the first time in years, Amina wasn't looking over her shoulder. She wasn't bracing for the next blow. She was simply breathing. When they arrived, the ranch stood wide and open under the pale Canadian sky. Snow dusted the fences, and the air smelled like pine and earth. It wasn't fancy, but it was peaceful. Inside, Daniel gave them warm blankets, hot food, and space. He didn't ask questions that first night. He didn't need to. Some stories are written in bruises, in silence, in the way someone flinches at sudden movements. Days turned into weeks. The girls began to laugh again, softly at first, like they were afraid the sound might disappear. They helped feed the animals, ran across the open fields, and discovered what it felt like to be children. Amina slowly found herself again too. She